Okay, so once again, we're working with slope-intercept form. So as you remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And y equals mx plus b. And then our slope is the m, and our y-intercept is b. So in this equation below, I kind of color-coded them, so it's a little bit easier to see if you're still kind of confused. The way I like to think of it is my slope is anything from the equal sign to in front of the x. So I kind of like draw a little box from the equal sign to the x. Anything in that little area is my slope. So if there's a negative sign, it's included. If it's a fraction, the whole thing. And then my y-intercept is anything from the x to the end of the equation. So +1 or just 1. We don't always write the positive sign, but if it was -1, you would write -1. So today, for the first part of your assignment, you're going to be given equations like this to find the m and the b. So m being slope, b being the y-intercept. So 3x plus -4. So for this one, our slope is 3, or m is 3. Anything from the equal sign to in front of the x. So m is 3. And then for my y, or my y-intercept, or b, is anything from the x to the end of the equation. So I have a plus -4. What's a positive plus a negative? It's a negative, so I'm going to have -4 as my y-intercept. Okay, so that was number 1. Now I'm going to have you guys do number 2 on your own. So type in the chat m equals, and then a number, b equals, and a number, so I can see if you guys understand this or not. Good, yep. Correct. So I have from the chat m equals -6. Everyone that said that was correct. So for m, I'm going to put -6. And then for my b, or my y-intercept, it's 1. Good job. Thank you. Number 3 is kind of a unique situation because there's not much after the equal sign. But so I have same thing for solving for my m. It's from the equal sign to what's in front of the x. There's nothing. So do I put 0? No, what it means is there's actually a 1 here. We just don't write the 1. And so it's one of those things like we don't write a positive sign, but it's there. It's implied. So for my slope, I have 1, because if it's an x by itself, it's just 1. Now for my b, it's anything from the x to the end of the equation. There's nothing there. So what would I put for my b? I'm going to put 0 here, because this time, since there is nothing, that really means there's nothing there. Yes, good job. 0 is my b. So for the equation y equals x, my slope is 1, and my y-intercept is 0. All right, next, finding m and b from a graph. So for the second part of your equation, you're going to be given an equation and then have to graph it and then find the slope and the b. And so for this one, the equation isn't given, but on your assignment it will be. So from your assignment, you can just look at the equation and pull the m and the b. But I'm going to do a quick little review of looking at a graph and finding slope and y-intercept. So I'm going to start with my y-intercept, or b. I like to remember it as b is where I begin my line. B is my y. My y-intercept is b because it's where I begin my graph. So first step is to come to the y-axis, which is right here, and find where this line crosses and at what point. So it crosses right here. And so coming up from my 0, I go up 1, 2. So my y-intercept is 2. Or, yep, right here they put the coordinate pair 0, 2. Wherever x is 0 and wherever x is 0, that's your y-intercept. Next, for my slope, it's rise over run. So I rise 2 and I run 1. So I'm going from this point to this point, up 2 over 1. So my slope is 2 over 1, or simplified, it's 2. These ones are kind of hard to see. Okay, so now I'm going to graph a line for you guys, and then we're going to do the slope and the y-intercept given the graph. So this is what you guys are going to be doing for your homework. You're going to be using Jamboard like I am right now, and you'll be given an equation and a graph. And so it'll be like y equals 2/3 x plus 2. I just made that up. But you'll have an equation like this, and then you're going to have to graph it on here and then tell the slope and the y-intercept. So I'm sure you guys know how to graph, but in case you forgot, I'm going to do a quick little reminder. So here's my equation. It's in slope-intercept form. First, I'm going to find my y-intercept, which is 2, and that's going to tell me where to begin the line. So I'm going to come to my y-axis, which is the one that goes straight up and down, and I'm going to come to 2 and plot a point. Next, I'm going to come to my slope to figure out where to plot my next point. So my slope is 2/3, or 2 over 3. So that means I'm going to go rise 2 and run 3. So up 2 over 3. So from my point, I'm going to go up 2, 1, 2, and over 3. 1, 2, 3. Plot my point. And then I like to plot 3 points when I'm graphing just because it helps me make sure my line is correct. You technically only need 2, but I like to plot 3. So next, I'm going to do the same thing, up 2 over 3. So 1, 2, and then over 3. 1, 2, 3. So there is the graph. And then now I'm going to draw a line through it. I'm going to use the marker feature just because it's a little bit bigger. You guys definitely can do this with your mouse. I have the fancy drawing pad, but you can do it with your mouse. We were trying to do it on Google Slides, but it was too hard to get the line correct. So we switched it to Jamboard. So period 4 kind of struggled, but hopefully this is easier for you guys. So I have all my points, and now I just connect the dots. I know you're going to be doing this with a mouse, and it's going to be really hard, so it does not have to be perfect. I just need a general idea that you know how to plot the points and know how to graph. So that is today's lesson. And I'm going to do a quick little brief overview of the assignment. It's a loading in Google Classroom. I just pressed assign, so 1 second, and then it'll pop up in your feed. Okay, so it should be there now. So share this tab. So right here under the week of November 9th through November 13th, you're going to click on 3.5 part 2. And then you'll see there's Google Slides and a Google Jamboard. So I'm going to do the Google Slides first, and then I'll show you the Jamboard. So here is the worksheet. You're going to come up here to the magnifying glass, click the little arrow next to it, and go to 100% to make it bigger and easier to see. So questions 1 through 10, you're just identifying the slope and the y-intercept. So that is all you're going to do for that. Questions 11 through 20. So this is how I gave it to period 4 yesterday, and then they had to use the line and try and graph it, and it was just really hard and confusing. So what we did instead is, if you go back to the Google Classroom tab, right here, there's Jamboard. So you'll click on that. And then it's going to give you your problems on here once it loads. Stupid automatic lights. Okay. So this is an example I did for you, but here is the equation. So you'll have an equation like this, and then you're going to graph it. On here, pen tool up here in the upper left, you can use any color you'd like, but you're going to come here and graph it and draw the line. And then once you're done with that, you can write your slope and y-intercept. So like -3 over 2 and -4. And I know it won't look pretty, but just do your best. That's all that I'm looking for. So then there's 10 problems for that. and they're all on here. Oops, I wasn't sharing that slide. I'm sorry. So it'll look like this. You'll use the pen tool up here in the upper left. Choose whatever color you would like. Plot your points, connect the dots. Right here, you'll put your M and your B, your slope and your y-intercept. And that is all for today's assignment. So you have the rest of the period to work on it. And if you need help, let me know.